What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob Hardison, and today let's talk about rear camber link geometry. So I know it's been a couple weeks since our last Let's Talk video, but I figured since our last one was talking about our front link geometry, what better of a time than to talk about rear link geometry. That way, we kind of keep it all together. Did front, now we're gonna talk about the back. So what we're gonna do here is, instead of just kind of talking about it and showing you from afar, I'm gonna bring you guys up close, get a view of the rear end here. And this, of course, unlike the front one, is going to for sure apply to every car, because every rear car is going to have rear links. Just about, I think. I don't think there's anything that's got a different upper arm in the back, but if there is, whatever. The majority of cars that are on the market are going to have this rear camber link set up. So I'm gonna bring you guys close. That way I can get a little pointer in here and kind of give you guys a more up close visual of what I'm talking about, rather than me just spewing at your face. So let's do that and we'll get into it. So now that we have you spun around here to look at the lovely rear end of my car, the first thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is just discuss what options you have for tuning, and then we will jump into what those options will actually do as you drive around the track. So at the tower here, in my case, as you can see, we have a couple different holes for height. In my case, I don't have the option to do length adjustment, but there are plenty of cars out there that not only do you have the up and down option, but you can also go further in or further out of your tower. And then that, of course, like I said, adjusts your length here. Now, out at the hub, in this case scenario, you can see I've got some length options, but I don't have height options. That is going to be fairly common for hubs, especially that use these plates. So even though I don't have height options on this plate itself, I can change this plate out and raise and lower the link. And then, as you can see on this, I do have the length options. So we have a long, a medium, and a short. Just like the inside here at the tower, some will have more, some will have less. It's just going to be a car by car thing. But just like the inside, on the outside, you can adjust height and length in some fashion. So as we now transition into talking about what those tuning options are actually going to do, as we come to my tower here, let's say we want to raise our linkage. So we're gonna raise this up, which is going to increase our angle this way, as you can see from my driver. So we're going to increase basically the angle of what this link sits at. So as we go up, that is going to increase your on-power traction. The car's gonna feel a lot more stable in the high speed sections, but because you are increasing your stability, you're increasing your traction, you are going to take away some of that rotation on power. Now on the flip side there, as we add our grip to the on-power stuff, what you'll notice is that in the tighter turns, the more low-speed turns, with this higher link, you are going to get more rotation. So you'll get more rotation on the off power, but you'll take away rotation as you go on power. So if you're on a track that has a lot of tight turns and you just need some stability coming out of the turn, what you can do is you can raise that link up. The car should, in theory, pivot very quick on that turn, and then as you get back on power coming out of the turn, you'll notice that the rear end is going to lock in a little bit more. Now the opposing thing happens as you lower this link. So when you lower the link, what that is going to do is it's going to increase your on-power rotation. So you'll notice the rear end is going to be wanting to move around a little bit more as you lower that link. And that is going to be taking it from, let's say, here to here. So you're flattening the link out, basically. So you're going to increase your rotation on power. Now, just like with the link being high, you get the opposite effect on your low speed stuff. It's the same thing on the low speed. So because we are increasing rotation on power, we are going to decrease rotation off power. So that's gonna be very important to note depending on what style of track you're on and depending on how quick you need the car to pivot. So just as a quick recap of that, if you raise your link, you're going to increase your on-power traction, and you're going to decrease your off-power traction, so you'll get quicker rotation out off power. And then as you lower the link, you're going to increase your rotation in the on-power scenario, and then you will decrease your off-power rotation. So now that we've gone over our height adjustments, on the cars that do have the length adjustments, as you go to a longer link here at the tower, so you move our screw from here to, just imagine a second row here, move the screw from here to here, for example. So you're moving your pivot point to a longer location. That is going to increase your stability and increase your traction. And then as you shorten the link here, so imagine now we're going from this imaginary inside hole here back to this outside hole, which is a little bit shorter on the tower. That is going to increase your steering, and it's going to be a little bit better on the bumpy tracks compared to the longer link. Now, swapping in to our hub out here, because of course with this, I don't have a different plate on here. We only can see the length adjustments. We'll first talk about our length adjustments. So as you go longer, generally you're going to, again, increase your stability, but it's going to be increasing your stability on corner entry. But as you come out of the corner, what you're going to notice is the car is going to pivot a little bit faster. So a longer link is going to be more stable into the turn, more rotation coming out of the turn. Just like we know with all of our other changes we've talked about here and talking about, our inside tower, as you then shorten your link, what you're going to experience is you're going to increase your rotation going into the turn. So kind of imagine, splitting the turn 50-50. As you go into the turn, you're going to have more rotation. The car is going to want to break free a little bit more. But as you then come out of the turn with this shorter link, again, you're on this inside hole here or this middle hole compared to, the longest setting. As you shorten this, as you come out of the turn, the car is going to be more stable. It's going to lock itself in more. So that is going to, like I said, give you more grip coming out of the turn. So to give a quick recap on our outer hub length positions, as you go longer, you're going to have more stability into the turn, but you're going to increase rotation coming out. And then as you shorten your link, you'll have more rotation going into the turn and you'll be more stable coming out. So now that we know what our length adjustments do out here, let's talk about our height adjustments. Now, height adjustments, I'm going to keep very, very simple in the sense of anytime that you are going to take this and you're going to raise it up. So let's say this is a +1 position or an A plate position, and we want to increase this a few millimeters higher. So imagine that there's some mystical extra hole higher here. As you go to that higher hole, 9 times out of 10, that is going to increase your rear traction pretty much everywhere. And then as you lower it, you'll get more rotations, you'll have less traction. So that is going to then cover our height adjustments. Going higher is going to increase your rear traction, and going lower is going to decrease your rear traction. So that will cover the basics of rear link geometry for our changing height and length at our tower and changing height and length at our rear hub plate. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If there's anything that maybe I missed or anything that you maybe want me to go over a little bit more, definitely feel free to leave it in that comment section below, and we will definitely make sure to get you all taken care of. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.